Chelsea need time on a goal scorer. Manchester United have been brought back down to earth.
Chattanooga Red Wolves play their first match of the new year. Here comes Chattanooga now. Puts it in! Finds the back right corner.
You are watching Click Sports. Click to explore the games.
Hi guys, my name is Shalom Habu. You're welcome to Click Sports, and without any further ado, let us jump into our review of the weekend's games and stories for today's videos. Now, in the first game of the weekend, we saw Liverpool beat Bournemouth by 3-1. Diaz, Szoboszlai starred with an 8/10 rating. These were pretty much the two-star players of the game. On the other hand, McAllister was solid as usual since his arrival to the club. I was unfortunate to get sent off for a mistake in the second half. Very harsh red card in my opinion, but oh well. VAR didn't review or didn't even overturn it, so it stands. But it was a very harsh red card. The home side got off to the worst possible start after an error from Trent Alexander-Arnold allowed the Cherries to capitalize, with Anton Semenyo driving the ball past Alisson to open the scoring. Virgil van Dijk came close to equalizing moments later with his header smashing the back of the woodwork, while the Reds continued to gather momentum in the chase to restore parity. Bournemouth managed to hold on until the 27th minute when Luis Diaz reacted first to a deflected cutback from Diogo Jota, finishing acrobatically past Neto. Careless defending from Bournemouth's Joe Rodell then led to him conceding a penalty, and while Neto was able to stop the initial strike from Mohamed Salah, the Egyptian international reacted quickly to put away the rebound. Now, positives for Liverpool. A bright display from Liverpool's attack showed further signs of improvement, with the performance of Szoboszlai and Diaz impressive, as I mentioned earlier. The link-up play between Salah and Diaz, as usual, was a standout factor for Chelsea. When they always come together to play, these guys always do the business for Liverpool, and whenever they're playing together, it's always a danger for the oppositions. In terms of negatives, what are the negatives that Liverpool can take from this game that they need to work on? Jurgen Klopp needs to work on. Liverpool started the game poorly with too many needless mistakes that conceded possession and could have been punished by a stronger opposition. The Reds are also set to be without Alex McAllister for 3 games after he was unlucky to be sent off just before the hour mark. Now, needless mistakes and losing possession in the game. Could that be down to the fact that maybe Liverpool need a number 6, they need a defensive midfielder? Well, good news for Liverpool, they were actually able to sign one before the game, and he actually played. He actually replaced, he was actually brought on to cover for the loss of McAllister during the game, and Wataru Endo is his name. So maybe this will actually bring a bit more ball retention to the midfield and also help them retain the ball more and not losing, and also give them the chance to win the ball back much better. Personally, I don't think it's sustainable for McAllister to keep playing as a number 6 for Liverpool. He's not a number 6, he's a number 8 or a number 10. Yes, they actually need a proper defensive midfielder, and well, maybe a few more signings here and there. I think they probably need one more midfielder, maybe 1 or 2 more midfielders if they can close their eyes and spend the money, even though you can't trust FSG, Liverpool's owners, to even bring out the money when it's needed. But yeah, so that's it for Liverpool. Good one for them. On to the next weekend, and then we'll see how they fare. In the next game, we saw Arsenal beat Crystal Palace 1-0. Arsenal invited familiar criticism from the celebration police. Obviously, Arsenal was celebrating too much again, as usual. This is what always want to use against Arsenal: over celebrating. But me personally, I don't see the over celebration that Arsenal over celebrated. It was a hard fought game for them yesterday, and someone once said that there are 10 very important games that you have to make sure that you don't slip up during the season. The first 5 games and the last 5 games of the season, especially if you're a title challenging team. So the first 5 games, you just have to get a win. It doesn't necessarily have to be 4 goals, 5 goals. It was Arsenal actually dominated this game. The only thing is that the scoreline, just like last week, Arsenal also dominated the game last week, but the scoreline flattered their opponents. This is what's happening. Arsenal's scoreline are actually flattering the opponents. If Arsenal probably had a much better striker, or maybe they were more oiled and they were more advanced in the progress and what they're trying to achieve this season, who knows, they'll be blowing these things out of the water. So for me, I think it's not a surprise to see the Arsenal players really celebrate with so much joy after the game because it was a hard fought win. Yes, they dominated the game, but they went down to 10 men very early in the game, very early in the second half, and it was a very harsh yellow card. It was a very harsh yellow card which should be reviewed and should be overturned, in my opinion. Playing with 10 men from about the 60th minute with 1-0 lead against a young, athletic, energetic Crystal Palace team is not easy. So come on, give the Arsenal guys some break. They did well, they won, and yes, they are. I think they're among the 3 teams in the EPL now with a 100% record. Both Arsenal, Brighton, and Man City are the only teams that have won their first 2 games. So good one for Arsenal. Yeah, the Gunners last season, the Gunners won 16 out of their first 19 Premier League games last season, amassing 50 points at the halfway stage, only to lose and find themselves overhauled on the run-in by Manchester City. Try telling Gunners coach Mikel Arteta and his players that a slow start this time around is acceptable, and obviously it will actually make sense to them. Arsenal have now secured maximum points from their opening 2 games, and although many may have expected them to do so with a more authoritative and domineering style, as you would expect from Arsenal, even with the expensive arrivals of Havertz and Declan Rice, but still, this win and these performances will galvanize the group and will also help them, in instance, prove that they can go the distance this season. So we'll just keep an eye on Arsenal. Great performance from Martin Odegaard too. He scored the goal yesterday, and yeah, just keep watching Arsenal to see how it goes. Let's just see. In the next game, we see Spurs and Tottenham. We see Spurs dominate and beat Manchester United by 2-0. United were humble at the game on Saturday, and rightly so, in my opinion. In terms of the rebuild right now, because we know that both teams are in the stage of rebuild. United are pretty much in the second year of Erik ten Hag's rebuild, while for Spurs, they just lost their old manager Conte and they have a new manager. This is his first what they call it. He just had his first transfer window as a manager for Spurs, so this is his first season now. The first few games that he's managing the club, and looking at it, they seem to even be more way ahead of United in the rebuild. United don't seem to be progressing as they need to be, but who knows, maybe we're just judging them too early. We never know. But still, from the performance that we saw on Saturday and the performance that we saw from them last Monday, things are not going according to plan for them. As I said, in terms of rebuild, Spurs look like they're ahead in the rebuild, and yeah, being the first season for the new manager. Ten Hag has already had a season behind him. He has had 1 season behind him to really improve this team, and he has had 3 transfer windows. The transfer window the first summer he came, the transfer window in January, and this transfer window that we are in presently now. So he has really had 3 transfer windows to progress this United team, but things don't seem like it's going to plan. In terms of sports, it is a great result for them, and an even greater result knowing fully well that they've lost Harry Kane. The Spurs do not seem to be missing him, and they don't seem to be missing Harry Kane of here. I mean, they scored 2 goals without him. Their style of play has to be commended though, very positive, and they dominated with over 55% possession over the course of the 90 minutes. In terms of United, it's a lot less clear with United. If this game was close for a long time, because yes, you can say Spurs were the better team, but the game was actually close to a certain extent. United didn't do too badly, but the reason why you can say United didn't do too badly or the game was a bit close, overall, pound for pound, if you actually weigh both teams, United have the better players than Spurs, but Spurs are just playing much better football right now. So they generally have better players than Spurs, and it's not necessarily because of their performance that you really commend United, but Spurs seem to be way ahead in terms of this rebuild. Mason Mount is supposedly there to do what Christian Eriksen did last season, but you wonder if trying to turn him into a guy who can drop in alongside Casemiro, or somebody who can spray a line-breaking pass from deep like Christian Eriksen is actually worth the hassle. Me personally, when Mason Mount was signed from Chelsea, I thought, what is the purpose of signing Mason Mount? What does Mason Mount add to this United team? United are looking for ball retainers. You went and brought a midfielder that loses the ball frequently. You basically went and signed somebody that should be a backup for Bruno Fernandes. He's supposed to be a backup. Maybe either you are replacing Bruno Fernandes or you are backing him up with Mount. But Mason Mount is not a number 8. He's not somebody you play alongside the defensive midfielder like Casemiro. Especially when you know Casemiro is not necessarily a defensive midfielder in the same mold as your Thomas Partey and your Casemiro. Your Thomas Partey and your Casemiro, Thomas Partey and your Rodri at Man City are ball progressors. They are defensive midfielders that they don't just win the ball back, but they can also start the play. They can also carry the play forward for the team. They can make line breaking passes. Toni Kroos doesn't have this. Casemiro doesn't have this. Casemiro is a destroying defensive midfielder. He wins the ball back and he destroys attack of the other team, and he gives the ball to better players to progress the ball for him. He had this advantage at Madrid with the likes of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, but now you're at United. You have Bruno Fernandes and now you have Mason Mount. It's not the same. Maybe Bruno Fernandes is in the same class as Modric and Toni Kroos, but definitely Mason Mount is not Toni Kroos. Mason Mount cannot play like Toni Kroos. The closest thing to a Toni Kroos at the club, which is that player that United actually need, is similar type of player to Toni Kroos, who can dominate the ball, keep the ball, calm the play down, retain the ball for United, keep the possession ticking. They don't have that, and people were picking players off Chelsea. Arsenal signed their own from Chelsea. Man City signed their own from Chelsea. Man United signed them. But I feel like Manchester United signed the wrong player from Chelsea. Manchester United could have actually signed Kovacic, because Kovacic is actually that type of player. He would have actually given United this ball. Well, they didn't get the player they needed, in my opinion, and they still need to make more signings. Yes, I do understand that the reason why maybe some of the signings that United actually need may not have been pulled off is because they've not been able to sell off the dead weight at the club. McTominay is still at the club. They're trying to sell him off, but they've not been able to sell him yet. And Maguire was pretty much on the way out to West Ham, but he changed his mind and he's staying. So that can make transfers a bit difficult. But United actually, in my opinion, they still need like 2 midfielders. Amrabat, we've been hearing about Amrabat all summer. When is he going to get done? Get Amrabat done, get him in. Casemiro is getting old, so you need someone to back him up. I don't personally think that Amrabat should come and play alongside Casemiro. That is not also what Erik ten Hag is trying to do in the long run, in my view. Amrabat is good, provide competition for Casemiro, but also we're hearing talk of Ryan Gravenberch at Bayern Munich. Yes, he is that type of player that United need to play alongside Casemiro, or to play behind, to give support to Fernandes and to also give support to Casemiro. He is in that mode. My only issue with this guy is that he's been at Bayern. He's a young boy. He's been at Bayern and he's pretty much not played consistently. So is he ready to leave Bayern's bench and come and be a starter ahead of an Eriksen for United? Is he ready? Me personally, I don't think so. If he was pretty much at a much smaller club, with his reputation, with his hype, with his talent that we know he has, if he was maybe at a Dortmund or an RB Leipzig, where he was playing week in, week out consistently, dominating games, imparting games, and you understand, just being there to influence things, he would have been a more ready-made option. Yes, I still think that United should still look around the market. Gravenberch would be a good signing, but I don't think he will be ready this season. I think he will still need time, and that would not be fair on him to bring him and put him under so much pressure. Maybe sign someone else more experienced. There are different options in the transfer market. It's not left for me to suggest for you guys. You have a scouting team, you have a transfer team at United, so you guys should get your act together and sign the players that you need. In the other game, we saw West Ham beat Chelsea by 3-1. Now I'm going to be fair to Chelsea. I usually like to throw Chelsea, but I'll be fair to them. Chelsea didn't do too badly in the game. They played well, but you can see that they don't know how to finish their chances just yet. They can't finish their chances just yet, and they're still making the same sloppy mistakes they were making in defense last season. So while you can say that maybe the midfield is looking like it's ready or could be ready as the season goes, the attack is not there yet, and the defense is not. But most importantly is the attack. And yeah, Chelsea may be an ever-changing entity these days, but Sunday's 3-1 defeat at West Ham United underlined how their inability to take chances remains a worrying constant. The last striker to surpass 20 goals in the Premier League for Chelsea was Diego Costa in the year 2016-2017, the campaign of 2016-2017, which not coincidentally was the last time they won the league. They had the game fairly in their grasp at 1-1. Yes, they considered first, but they equalized at 1-1, and they had the game fairly in their grasp. The game was within reach, but they just couldn't take their chances. After recovering from a slow start, they dictated the game for majority of the first half. And after Naif Aguerd had headed West Ham in front on 7 minutes and Kenny Chukwuemeka equalized with his first senior goal, the game turned on Enzo Fernandez to sort of give Chelsea the lead, but he missed his penalty. And after that, Chelsea really didn't get back into the game. After that, it was all West Ham, and West Ham took their chances and basically clinically sent Chelsea to the cleaners. So basically, the advice for Chelsea is basically get a striker. There's still time to get in a striker. get a striker. There are still some top strikers in the transfer market. I mean, in fact, the question I even want to ask is, I mean, Chelsea have spent close to £1 billion. Nobody has ever done that. Chelsea have spent almost £1 billion in the space of 2 years. How can you have spent so much money and you've not even signed a top striker? With all this money you've thrown around, I mean, out of the 100 million you spent on Mikhailo Mudryk, or the close to 100 million you spent on Mikhailo Mudryk, the over 100 million you spent on Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, couldn't one of those 100 million have gone to signing a top striker? I mean, that's just the question for you guys. But yes, Chelsea need a striker and they need a striker fast. If not, this is going to be a tough season for them. Already, in my opinion, it was already tough for them when they lost Christopher Nkunku for the whole season, because he is pretty much the best goal scorer at the club. And this season, if all players were fit, he will have pretty much gone down as the top goal scorer for them this season, because he's a goal scorer and he will have been their top goal scorer this season, but they lost him. So now who is actually going to score the goals? Is Jackson going to be that guy? Me personally, I don't expect Jackson to reach the same heights as your Victor Osimhen and your Erling Haaland. He might be good enough, but I'm seeing him more as your Gabriel Jesus, as a 15-goal striker, maybe 12. So he's not, me personally, he's not what Chelsea needs, but you can't write him off here, but he can actually grow into being that guy for Chelsea. Let's keep an eye on things and let's see how things go for Chelsea. All the best to you guys. In the final big game of the weekend, we saw Man City defeat Newcastle by 1-0. A stunning goal from star boy Julian Alvarez was enough to seal a narrow victory for City over Newcastle, who shouldn't be too disappointed to have lost the game away to the best club team in the world in world football presently as we speak. City, although were without Kevin De Bruyne, and fans were excited to see, Newcastle fans were also excited to see how new boy Tonali would fare against City, alongside teammates Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton. Well, it's safe to say that Newcastle still have a way to go. They still have a few steps to cover in order to fully be that team that they are actually trying to become in England. Yeah, but as things stand right now, they are already a top 4 team and they are now a Champions League team. The first foray into the Champions League for in a long while. So the next step for them is maintain it, remain in top 4 this season, getting in Champions League. Do that for the next 2 seasons, and maybe it'll probably take 2 or 3 seasons for them to actually gain that full confidence, to actually fully build themselves to the point whereby they can now challenge a City for the title or to become a full-time trophy-winning team. So things are progressing for them gradually. Was an unfortunate loss, but good. At least they can learn from it and come back stronger in the next game. In terms of City, Haaland didn't grab a goal. This is the second game he's not scored. He didn't score in the Community Shield. Scored in the first game of the season. Didn't score in the Super Cup and didn't score yesterday. Well, Haaland, bro. Maybe you can say maybe he's missing Kevin De Bruyne because of Kevin De Bruyne's absence and Kevin De Bruyne's injury. But you never know. You can't write off the greatest goal scorer in world football at the moment. So yeah, give Haaland time. Maybe he just needs time to find his goal scoring inputs and he'll get back to being the monster that we know him to be. But also give credit to Newcastle's defense as well. They did a good job on him. And well, the thing with City is they're such a good team that you might keep Haaland quiet, but Julian Alvarez will catch you. You keep the two of them quiet, Phil Foden or someone else will have caught you. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But still, Newcastle defense, they can take some confidence at least for. I mean, any game you play against a guy like Haaland, he doesn't score against you. That is a confidence for any defender. Like to me, if I was the one, I'll be happy that day. That at least I know that the best striker in the world didn't even score against him. Yeah, in terms of Man City, they need more signings. They've lost a few players. They lost Kevin De Bruyne to injury, lost Ilkay Gundogan to Barcelona, and lost Mahrez to the Saudi Pro League. As things stands, we hear that they're in for Jeremy Doku and they're on the verge of signing him for £65 million. Well, good for them. They need to replace Mahrez because he's a good player. It's Mahrez. We all know, if you watch Mahrez and you know the impact, you know how good he is as a player. So they need more bodies in the team. They are too light at the moment, and this is for me. This is where I think Man City might win or lose the title this season. If they fully replace the squad and replenish what they've lost, I think that City will be tough to beat this season. But if they don't bring in someone who is good enough to fully replace Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan, even though I think Kovacic is okay, but he's not it. I hear Lucas Paqueta. Sign Lucas Paqueta. Lucas Paqueta will be the perfect player for this. You bring in Lucas Paqueta already brought in Goalscorer and you bring in Jeremy Doku, I think this is the same quality as last season. They're still a strong, very strong team, and they will be hard to beat. So good for them, good for City. Congrats on the 3 points, sitting second behind Brighton. And yeah, see how things go. Looking forward to the next round of games. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and also click the notification button so that anytime we post a video, you'll be reminded and you'll be notified to watch our videos. It helps our channel grow. Thanks again, and see you guys in the next video.